Well, just before the break, we were talking about the Italian elections and, of course, the big tussle that's going on there between the country's centre-left and also the centre-right. And Roee Ruttenberg is with us now. He joins us from Rome. Welcome, Roee. Good to have you with us. And just bring us up to date, if you will, because it seems a very interesting situation where Berlusconi, the man who, of course, was out of the limelight for a while, is now indicating he might seek to form a new government with the central-left parties. Will that help Italy find a way out of this political deadlock?
Well, you know, that's a very tricky question because what Berlusconi says and what he might intend could be two different things. Those comments coming to Canale 5, that's a channel that's owned by Berlusconi himself, part of his media empire, Mediaset. Berlusconi knows that if he makes a coalition with the center-left, he represents the center-right. Many people think that sort of coalition couldn't last, and indeed the one qualifier that Berlusconi made was that such a coalition would have to exist without the former Prime Minister Mario Monti. You have to remember, in November 2011, Berlusconi was forced to resign, pressured by both the Italian president, Napolitano, and of course Brussels, and he was replaced by a technocrat, by Mario Monti. So he wants to ensure that whatever government happens without Monti. Now, Monti's more obvious coalition partner has been the center-left, Pierluigi Bersani of the Democratic Party. So it could be that Berlusconi is making these comments, suggesting that he is open to such overtures, but with a clear knowledge that it couldn't happen. But let's assume that it does happen. What many people here are saying, that even if there is a center-left, center-right coalition, it would be incredibly unstable, and that would effectively force Italians to go again to the polls in 3 to 6 months, perhaps, again. So it's really hard to, you have to sort of take with a grain of salt Berlusconi's comments to his own channel.
Well, in your report, Roee, you mentioned that Berlusconi was saying don't take any notice of what the markets are saying. But we also heard that Italy is planning to sell its long-term bonds. So what effect has this political deadlock had on that decision to sell, and how will Italy's political instability affect its economic recovery?
Indeed, there was an immediate effect. We saw the Milan index closing on Tuesday 5 percentage points down than when it opened. There were a number of shares that were basically blocked from what's called a short sell to ensure that the rapid trading that was happened would be stopped. But on Wednesday, Italy was set to sell 6.5 billion euros worth of 5 and 10-year bonds. That's about $8 billion, $7.5 billion. And the real question will be whether foreign investors still have an appetite for Italian assets, i.e. whether they're willing to buy them and at what price. Now, the way bonds work, obviously, is that the higher return a country has to offer, the lower the interest is. They're trying to basically finance the operations here. So if Italy has to sell their bonds at a very expensive rate in order to get that 6.5 billion euros sold, that's an indication that people don't trust the system here and that they need to be paid more in their returns in order to invest. That's a bad sign for the Italian economy. And if that continues as Italy tries to finance its daily, monthly operations, that is effectively not something that is sustainable for Italy and for Italian economy.